The illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques.
This is the elbow.
An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
Yeah, the illegal elbows.
All right, people, we're back, man. Illegal Elbow Radio. Another exciting episode for you guys, man. This is Brian from Illegal Elbow Radio, Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, people, we're getting back to it, man. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Home Improvement with Brian and Dan. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong show. Sorry about that. Legal Elbow Radio in the house. Aftermath in the house. What's going on?
What is up?
What is happening, man? We're pumped up, excited, ready to go, man. We got a bunch of cool news coming up. Some fun stuff. What's going on with Coker and this legend fight or whatever he's talking about?
Man, it's usually I don't get into the older guys coming out, calling people out, you know, like this past fucking, and we could segue right into the fucking clown show, man, before we're just going to break down some news here before we break down this fucking fight night shit. And Coker, I think he's in Coker's mind, you know, because we heard like a week ago about, if a Randy Couture and Fedor Emelianenko were going to fight, a Metamoris would be a good venue for them to fight. You know, grappling, right. Nobody's beating the shit out of each other. Sambo versus fucking catch wrestling, fucking badass.
That'd actually be great. Yeah,
yeah, and that's what I was hyped up for. Now, I think Coker, after this fucking debacle, because when we seen this, when Coker first grabbed the mic and started announcing this Cheeto Ortiz versus fucking Bonner shit, and then the guy came out with the mask, you know, and all that shit. He didn't look comfortable up there, man. He didn't look like he was putting himself behind what was about to happen. Because after that, we seen something that put not MMA, but that fucking organization behind about 6 years from them doing that. Okay, even the fucking push at the end with Tito pushing into the air when everybody knew on cue that Tito was going to do this push thing. Why in the fuck would you push somebody? Why would you punch him? He's right. The one talking shit. Well, you going for both of them? Fucking stupid, man. And then everybody's bear hugging everything. In my opinion, it was fucking garbage, and it was an embarrassment to the sport. But your original question, I think it'd be awesome to see them in Bellator, because there's going to be no clown show, dude. These two are so respected that they're going to have fucking Homie the Clown come out with fucking, you know, the fucking Iron Sheik and shit. You know, it's like, come on. It's like we're going to have respect. I would like to see them come out and fucking battle. Yeah, you know, this is a little more intense than a Metamoris, because you're throwing hands and you're looking to fucking knock people out along with all the grappling shit. So I'm down with it, just because, me personally, if it was Randy Couture versus anybody else, I could probably give two shits. Yeah. But it's Fedor, and I actually want to see fucking Fedor fight again. So that's the whole thing with me.
And this is a great possibility too, because Coker's got a good rapport with M1, man. I mean, M1 and Strike Force, you know, we're good together.
Yeah, he said he said that they said he's in talks with him right now, M1. Yeah. So
I mean, that's you might as well consider it done, in my opinion. I mean, that, maybe not done, but I mean, it's a pretty damn good possibility that it's going to happen. You know what I mean? That's if Fedor and Randy are both down with it, which I don't see why they wouldn't. You know, it's not like they're coming in taking on the champion right now or something. You know what I mean? They're coming in. They're facing guys that are probably been retired for about probably a similar amount of time, really. I mean, you think about it. They've both been retired for a while, come out of retirement for one you know legend fight. You know what I mean? It's we've talked about that a long time, you know. Have the older guys fight the older guys, you know. I mean, don't have them come back and fucking fight all the big guys that are right here front and center. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, these older guys should fight the older guys. If they're going to come out of retirement and do it, make it an even battlefield. You know what I mean? I think it's great, man. It makes sense for both guys to come out and do something like this. You know what I mean? And you know what's really funny about it? Dana White recently talking about super fights. Hey, here you go. Here's Coker's rebuttal. You know what I mean? So, I love it. I think it's a great idea. So if it happens, fucking aim. I'm like I said, front and center, man. I'll be all about that shit for sure.
Hell yeah. And as for the other fucking clown show shit, they just need to fucking get this shit done with, man. You're fucking hurting. I've looked on all the forums, and I haven't heard any positive feedback on what went down that night with that. I've heard, after that shit happened, I changed the channel. That is fucking bullshit. Reminds me of WWE. Reminds me of TNA. Reminds me of fucking a clown show fucking shit fest dumpster fire. That's what I said. Fucking, it's a disgrace, dude. You know, I know Bellator is in cahoots with the world, with a professional wrestling organization, but don't mingle the two. Don't cross the two.
Right.
Fuck, if your guys are going to go over and do promos, that's their deal, but don't bring that fucking smelly ass shit over here. And hey, put it this way. I have nothing against any pro wrestling fan or pro wrestling itself, but it doesn't belong here. Because you have people questioning when it comes to real fighting. Are these guys going to fucking... Is somebody going to get on the rope and do a superfly snooker or off the top of the fucking cage? I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Is somebody going to throw a chair in there?
Right. Like a TLC match in the cage.
Exactly. And then, okay, it's because this is fucking clown show. You got a guy coming out in a mask. You got a guy throwing phantom punches. It's no good for no one when it comes to this, and it's tainting the sport. Quit it. Stop it.
Well, I wouldn't even be surprised if they do more of that. Not more of it, but I'd be surprised if that'd be the end of it. I'm sure we'll see it happen again, but hopefully Coker puts a stop to it after he hears the backlash. Hopefully, because it is
Viacom contrived thing, because I didn't think, by the look on Coker's face, he didn't look happy about it, or he looked a little apprehensive when he was talking on the mic. It's like a Viacom, let's do this. The big wigs in Viacom say, we're going to try this. I don't really care what you think, All
the promotions and advertising or whatever, all those people probably concocted it. I don't know. I'm shooting from the hip. Who knows? But, I wouldn't think that Scott Coker would be totally behind something like that. He's never been like that in Strikeforce. You know what I mean? Yeah, some guys might come in and talk shit on the mic, but it doesn't never seem contrived to me, like they made it up. You know what I mean? And that one totally looked made up. Stephan Bonner's, I like the guy. I think it's great that he's coming in to fight Tito. Not a good actor though. Sorry, there's no award-winning.
I thought it was after he cut down fucking. After he was cutting down Tito, he's going to run. Can you smell what the American Psycho is cooking?
That's it, brother. No, but I'd say we put snuff that out and fucking. Yeah,
let's move to some other news. And Ben Askren was on Inside the MMA, and we had Boss Rutan and Kenny Rice interviewing him. He was on the screen there. And he was going off about Dana, and because there's been on social media how he's written about, it makes me disgusted to see these fighters that are over in UFC catering and groveling down to Dana White, because he's basically what Dana White does, and we've heard it and we've bitched about it. He uses his tactics, intimidation tactics, talk shit over if he's being interviewed. He's talked shit about Roy Nelson and everybody else, man, about Roy Nelson, fat ass. Totally unprofessional shit. The guy's a fucking ass clown. We know that. Loudmouth, egotistical, narcissistic prick. Man, I ran out of fucking... Yeah, but Ben Askren basically unloaded on it. And he's like, it's bullshit that people, that fighters are doing this. Kenny Rice comes out and says, well, why are you going up against and saying all this stuff about a multi-billion-dollar company and the owner of it, And he's like, well, wouldn't you like to fight there one day, Ben? And Ben's like, you know what? Where I'm at right now, they treat me good over here. He's over at, where is he at? Fucking...
One FC.
One FC. He's like, if I sit here, fight, retire... when I'm all done and I make a nice living for my family and me and I can live the rest of my life comfortable. No. I retired as a champion, or I'm a past 2-time champion in 2 different fucking organizations. And he's like, I don't need to go cater to that shit, so no. And then to make a long story short, and this is all the controversy, this is why the CEO, Andrew Simon of AXS TV, came out and gave an apology, because at the end of it, fucking Kenny Rice says, well, we're going to have to let you go. And Ben's like, I'm not done. He's like, you can't just cut me off. He's like, we just did. Later.
See you later.
Yeah, and fucking used a real fucking worm boy tactic move. And,
fuck yourself.
Yeah, and basically cut him off, shut down the TV. And now, like I said, Andrew Simon's coming out, CEO of AXS TV, giving a personal apology to Ben Askren for Kenny Rice's worm boy tactics and moves. So,
and that sucks too, because I like them guys and I like that show. And him pulling that, it's like, fuck, man. Now you just made yourself look like a complete asshole. You had a good thing going. You brought Boss Rutan into it, make it look like he's part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Boss Rutan wouldn't have cut him off.
No, you would have let him talk. It's like, you could say, hey, we're going to commercial break. Hey, I can understand that.
Yeah, if you said, hey, we're going to take a commercial break, and then talk to him off mic. Say, hey, man, do you want to say all this? Are you sure?
Yeah, but he caught him off, and then fucking proceeded to talk about it, like you said, bringing Boss into it. All Boss said was, yeah, well, I like, UFC is the best of the best. Yeah, it's good you got a fight there, but, he wasn't sitting there saying, yeah, you should have cut the guy off. But the thing is, what is fucking Kenny Rice doing? Why is he so into the UFC? Why can't people have a difference of opinion? Are you going to be fucking commentating and working for him soon? Why are you nut hugging him right now? Because he was firmly fucking placed on one Zuffa nut and one Dana White nut, and just swinging away there. So
well, with this whole thing after, you got to come to the UFC. It's like, well, if he wants to please the masses, maybe, but he don't have to prove anything to anybody, really. He's fought in two different organizations. He's the fucking, like you said, the champion of both of them. He doesn't have nothing to prove. If he's having a good time with his career and he's enjoying himself, he doesn't have to prove. Nobody has to prove anything to UFC. I mean, really, I'd like to see him come over to UFC, sure, but it's like he's adding right now. People should look at it this way: he's adding star power to ONE FC. ONE FC is fucking giant, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not giant, but I mean, they're a giant thing that once we can get to see more of them with more star power, that's huge, people, because that's the closest thing you're ever going to get to a Pride. And I'll tell you, Pride has a lot better wars in the dictionary.
You hear all us diehards out here always on the forum saying, I miss Pride. Right. But that's the whole plan about divide and conquer thing, The UFC just buys all the fucking popular shit up and disbands it.
I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's going to come to an end, man. I don't think Viacom's going to sell to them.
No, they're not down with that. And another thing is, Viacom with fucking Bellator, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to fucking... If Coker gets rid of all this clown show pro wrestling shit and has shit his way, starts having some shit like you want to see, like a Couture versus a Fedor, shit like this, that shit, not a Bonner versus a Tito, but a Couture versus a Fedor, and gets other big names in there, then tides could be changing along with ONE FC. Tides could be changing for UFC. So... don't get all fucking nut hugging and fucking, caressing balls over here, dude. You need to fucking look at the fucking future here.
Yeah, for damn sure, man. It's just stupid to even let the guy talk. If he's incriminating himself, that's fine. Whatever, which nobody's going to say he is, because I would want to hear what he had to say, and then he's cutting him off. It's like, dude, what's the matter with you? But I say before we move on here, man, and jump into some other stuff, unless you got to cap it off. But let's take a quick one, and we'll be back.
No, let's cap it off, and we'll be back with our next episode, or this will be the episode after. Depends on how we release it. But
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But we're out of here, people. That was the news and notes. Just thought we just had to get that shit off our chest because it's some current happenings. So that being said, man, we're out of here.
Steadfast.
God be here.